those rounds go? Where did that shell go? Over there. It's pretty good ejection. Welcome back to ironinfidel, everybody. So in our series of best duty rifles videos, we have this one today, the Knights Armament SR-15 Mod 2. Which is a holy grail rifle for a lot of people out there. It's been fielded all over the world, along with its bigger brother, the well-known SR-25, the heavy platform that was procured in 2000 for SOCOM for all the snipers out there during the GWAT. Now, Knights Armament is one of the most respected brands out there in the industry, but with everything else available today in the modern market, is this still one of the best options out there for a duty or a patrol rifle, whether you're buying it yourself or your department is going to buy them for everybody? Now, if you don't know the lineage of the Knights Armament platform, the original SR-25 was a collaboration between C. Reed Knight and Knights Armament and Eugene Stoner, the father of the modern AR rifle, if you don't know who that man is. Then came the SR-15, the SR-16, and most recently the KS-1, which was adopted by the British military in 2022. And while the SR-15 Mod 2 is a great rifle, there is something that a lot of people don't know when they initially get into one, and that is the fact that there are a lot of proprietary things going on with this rifle. Everything from the barrel nut, which is actually integrated into the rail system, gas block up front, the bolt and carrier group in here, the lugs on that, those are all proprietary parts that are going to almost ensure that you or your department armorer can probably not work on this rifle, and you will likely be at the knees of knights to have to send this thing in for a vacation for Lord only knows how long if you need anything major done to the rifle. And who likes to send their rifle away on a long vacation? But one thing we all like is staying healthy and staying hydrated. So make sure you check out ironinfidel.com, pick you up a battle bottle or a tumbler. We got all that fitness gear, the softest clothing in the game, and of course those dagger and knot blades all over at ironinfidel.com. There'll be a link down below for you to check out, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. So what exactly is the Knights Armament SR-15 Mod 2? This is an AR pattern rifle based on the original design with some tweaks and changes. This is a 16-inch cold hammer forged barrel design, chambered in 5.56 with a Knights Armament QD muzzle device and a 1-in-7 twist rate. It will be mostly ambidextrous from the charging handle, safety selector, and bolt release, but you do not have bolt lock. Upper and lower are 70-75 T6 forged aluminum, which is the good stuff. It has a proprietary gas block design with a notched barrel for a no-fail design. It has a straight gas tube, a proprietary barrel nut, which is designed into the rail itself, a 2-stage match grade trigger, a proprietary bolt and lug design, which are not swappable with standard AR pattern parts, and the 15-inch rail is covered in M-LOK and comes with one section of pick rail and has integrated QD inserts for your sling attachments. It will come with Magpul furniture, Knights Armament flip-up sights, and one magazine. But personally, for the 3K premium cost factor here, it should come with a minimum of 10 mags. As far as how this rifle is set up with all of the accessories here, I have a flatline fiber sling, an overbore riser to get my optic a little bit higher, an EOTIC EXPS for the optic on there, a die-free company Tiger Claw, got a D-ball out front with a Unity Axon switch with dual leads. It has a Reptilia mount with a mod light head and a Surefire dual tail cap for the light. I did add a Magpul riser to the stock to just make it overall a little bit more comfortable to mount the rifle. So what are our benefits when it comes to a Knights Armament SR-15? This is going to give you premium materials and premium manufacturing with a lot of real world use out there in the world that you know that you can count on and trust. The barrel is going to be chrome lined and it's going to be extremely accurate and last an extremely long time, even with heavy firing schedules. It's almost fully ambidextrous if that's your thing, and that trust factor is there. This is not a light use rifle. Everything here has been designed for an extremely hard use scenario, and again has been proven all around the world. These are not mass produced budget rifles by low level armorers. In fact, there is oftentimes a 1 year or longer wait period for these rifles. They are pretty much ready to roll, every option right out of the box. Just add your light and add your optic. And one of the biggest benefits is you get to tell your boys that you are running a Knight's SR-15, which is a flex, and I mean a big flex out there in the world. But as with anything, we do have some negatives here. The biggest negative is going to be the proprietary parts. Most armorers are not going to have the tools to work on a Knight's rifle. In fact, they're either going to tell you to send it right back to Knight's, or maybe you'll be lucky enough to have a Knight's armor somewhere in your state, whether it's the bolt, the barrel, or that rail that has the integrated barrel nut design on it. It can just be a pain if you need something replaced or you've worn a part out. The cost factor here is also an extremely hard pill to swallow, since these things are easily over 3K with taxes and likely closer to 4, since they are not available in any major retailer. So you're really stuck with a supply and demand price point kind of thing, and these things generally go for much more than MSRP. So how does this premium SR-15 Mod 2 run and feel out there on the range? Hands down, this thing runs and feels like an absolute boss. Far better than cheaper rifles out there that may give you similar options. It has a distinctly different feel, not only on recoil, but how solid the rifle is. That 2-stage trigger is very solid. The ambi controls were smooth and easy to manipulate right out of the box, which is not always the case. And the way the controls are set up and have a guarded design helps minimize accidental activation when it's actually in use, banging up against your kit, whether it's a plate carrier, chest rig, or just your standard uniform. These things are built like absolute tanks. Even the gas block design, it basically uses a mini barrel nut to lock it in place instead of those 2 tiny little screws underneath the gas block. So this thing is not going to fail. You are not going to have any problems with accuracy or running this rifle for an extremely long time, even if you're the kind of person that shoots 2,000 plus rounds a month for extended periods of time. This thing is just going to perform based on what it's made out of, how it's put together, and all of the experience the Knight's rifles have had all over the world for years. Overall, it's got pretty much everything you could want and need in a hard use rifle. Now, even though this is a premium rifle with pretty much every option you could want, is there anything that I would personally change on it, especially for the premium cost factor? And there definitely are. The first thing is the Magpul stock on here, and every Knight's gun that everyone I know has, they're just sloppy loose. So it should have the CTR with the locking mechanism, or just fit a little bit tighter. As far as the back plate here on the castle nut area, instead of having a dual-sided QD point, I would prefer just the one out the rear, because depending on the size of your hand, that really does get in the way when you're running around with this thing on the sling. And then on the off side here, I would like to see a little bit of a larger bolt release on the off side, because the little traditional ping pong paddle design, as people call it, just doesn't give a ton of meat. So a little bit more of like a maritime style one would definitely be a positive when it comes to a premium setup like this. Now, those are just my thoughts, and if I missed anything, definitely let us know in the comments. But for a premium priced setup like this, I think it should pretty much be damn near perfect. So where does the SR-15 stand in the modern market? Because I bought this, I love it, it will likely stay in my collection forever. But when we think about everything else out there that's available today, from Geisley, ADM, LMT, LWRCI, Bravo Company, and many other rifles out there in the market that give you the same, sometimes a little bit more options, and sometimes maybe a little bit less at different cost factors, where does the SR-15 sit in the modern market? Now, when I think about the SR-15 in the modern market, for me, it really just ends up being a flex, not only due to the upfront cost of this rifle, but all of the proprietary stuff that is on it, and the fact that you'd likely have to send it back to Knight's to get worked on. That really just doesn't make it feasible either for the individual officer to purchase or for a department to purchase these for the general mass officer out there, not only due to the cost, but due to those proprietary parts and the fact that your department armorer probably isn't going to be able to fix anything if it has an issue. Because when you really think about it, barrel swapping a modern AR takes all of about 10 minutes and a torque wrench, and it should just be that easy with everything that's based on the AR platform. And with all that being said, these are still absolutely amazing rifles. Again, I bought this. I waited over a year for this rifle, and it's likely going to stay in my collection forever. But damn, that thing hurt my wallet when I ordered it. Now, I know my Knights fans are going to go absolutely crazy in the comments down below, but when we're talking about something at this level, especially the cost factor, you get to nitpick every single piece of it. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you've never had a Knights, if you would even be interested in one, knowing what you know now. Make sure you get over to ironinfidel.com, check out those battle bottles, the blades, the clothing, the fitness gear. That link will be down below. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week.